Chapter 3, Word. We will learn how to create a business letter with a letterhead and a table. If you'll look on your books on page WD 140, the first thing you're supposed to do is open up a blank Microsoft Word document. So open up Microsoft Word, and remember, the first thing you always do is save first. You never know when the computer is going to crash on you, and if it's saved, you won't lose your stuff, or at least you're less likely. So the first thing we're going to do is we will hit save, and whether you're saving on the SkyDrive or on your computer, go ahead and navigate to where you save. Save the document as your last name, first initial, underscore, Samira's letterhead. Then hit save. And you know you've saved correctly if you see the name in the title bar of your Microsoft Word document. Next, you want to make sure that you have maximized your screen. Understand that this line right here means minimize. And this is restore. So if you've had it smaller, it'll restore it down. And if it's smaller, it will restore back up. And the X also closes the entire Microsoft Word. Now, down here on your status bar, you can see that mine is set at print layout. Yours needs to be also. So make sure that it's set at print layout. After you've done that, go to view and choose page width so that it's large enough for you to see everything. Then you want to go home and notice how my paragraph return mark is showing. You want to make sure yours is doing that also. So if your show hide button is off, click on it to turn it on, and if it is on, just leave it be. This is your show hide button. Now on page WD 141, the first thing it says is to go to the page layout tab. And then we want to go to the margins gallery. So we will click on the down arrow, and from here there are several different types of margins that you can choose, and the very last thing is where you can create your own. In this case, choose moderate, and moderate will automatically set up your margins for you. On page 142, it says click on the Insert tab. Then we are going to draw a shape. So we click on the Shapes button, and you notice at the top you have all the recently used shapes, and then it's broken up into categories: lines, rectangles, basic, arrows, etc., etc. In this case, they want us to use the rectangle shape. So you can get your rectangle shape from here, or if yours is in the recently used shapes, you can get it from up here. It does not matter where you get it. So click on the shape, and then you will slide down to where your return mark is right now. Now notice that you have a plus sign. That shows you exactly where you will be drawing. So once you get in the area of your paragraph return mark, you'll click with your left mouse key, and then you'll grab and drag across the page to something about this size. Now we will make it a specific size so that we can be uniform. The next thing it says is on number 5, it says make the width 0.53. So notice that I'm in my Format tab. If yours didn't automatically go there, then go ahead and click on that. And this is supposed to be 0.53. and that is the width, the height, and the width is going to be 5.7. So all I have to do is type in 5.7. Alright, now that makes our box exactly the size that it is in the book. So the next thing we're going to do on page 144 is we're going to change the position of my shape. So the shape should still be selected. You want to slide up to the position tab and click on that. This tells your object how it will interact with text. So according to the book, you want to choose position in top center with square text wrapping option. So we'll click on that. And notice that moves that to the center of the page. Then, if you look on page 145, the shape is still selected. We want to slide to the layout options, and that is the small box right here. Notice that this wrap text box is the same thing. So, we want to choose top and bottom. So as you slide over them, notice that it shows you a small box that tells you exactly what it is and a picture. And in this case, we're going to choose top and bottom. So we will click there. And that is also how text will interact with the shape. Go ahead and close that and then save, because it is always good to save. So our shape is still selected, and we want to click on the More button in the Shape Styles. So our Shape Styles is on our Drawing Tools Format ribbon, and notice it says Shape Styles right here, and this is the More button. So click on the More button, and then we have lots of different themes. Notice that as we slide over it, our object changes to reflect whatever our mouse is sliding over. I have not clicked on any style yet. In this case, they want us to choose a subtle effect blue accent 1, and that is going to be the second effect in the fourth row. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure we've got it right. Subtle effect blue accent 1. That is exactly the way it says it in the book. If it was different in any way, shape, or form, I would double check and find the correct one. If you choose a color or an effect that is incorrect, that is 2 points off, even if it's close. A lot of what we do in here is learn how to follow directions. So next, we want to right-click our shape. When you right-click the shape, you get a drop-down menu. Notice we have Style, Fill, and Outline. Notice that those are also up here. And then we have several different choices here. In this case, they want us to choose the Add Text button. So you click on Add Text, and notice that your cursor shows up inside of the shape. Now, in this case, they want us to center. So if yours did not center, then you will need to go to the Home tab and choose Center. Alright, now if you look at the bottom of page 146, it says to type Alexander Lee Samaras. And then on page 147 it says to select the text. And notice that's a shortcut. Notice how when I slide out to the left, see how it goes to a white arrow? If you click one time, it selects all of the text. Now, if you're uncomfortable with that, you can stay at the I-beam and click and drag. That also works. It does the same thing. And then we want to increase our font size. So if you're not already on the Home tab, go to the Home tab, and you'll notice you have two A's here. I use these a lot in real life. There's no manual that tells you what size to make things. You do what looks good. And the cool thing about this is that as you click, it gets bigger. And then when you click on the decrease one, as you click, it gets smaller. So you can play with it until it looks the way you want it to look. In this case, it wants us to change it to size 24. So we will increase, and notice that now it says the size 24 here. Could I have selected that and typed 24? Yes, I could, but how much more fun to click on a button. So the next thing it says to do at the bottom of the page is to bold that name. So we will click on the B for bold, and then we will click out. Next, if you will click on the Design tab, we are on page 148 to change the document theme. And you do have to be very careful. A lot of times the book will say change the theme colors, which in that case you would choose this. If it says to change the theme fonts, you would choose this. But if it says to change the theme, that would be this. And it would change the colors and the font. Alright, be careful that you pay attention to which one the book is asking for. In this case, it wants us to choose the organic theme. They have some great new themes in this new word. So we click on organic theme, and notice that all of our document formatting styles, they all changed subtly to reflect this theme, as long as our color swatch, and if I had opened up the fonts, you could see that those were different also. So the next thing we want to do is hit save, because we've just done some stuff, and we want to click on the paragraph mark below our shape. If your cursor isn't already there, go ahead and click on it. And then we want to insert a picture, so click on insert, because we're going to insert a picture, and we are going to choose online pictures. And when that comes up, we will search for books. Now, in this case, it wants us to search at office.com clip art. So do a search for books and hit the search button, and we should get a load of books. Alright, now in the picture, in the book, it actually shows you what book it is looking for. And if you don't get that book, that is okay, as long as you get a stack of books and it is similar. And I am looking, there you go. These are the books that the picture in the book, our book, shows. So click on the books that you chose and then hit insert. Notice that the books are very large, so we are going to change that. And we're also going to change the color of those books so that it matches our theme. So on page 150, with the graphics still selected, you want to click on the advanced layout. So notice that since we are on this picture, that we can automatically have the picture tools tab, which automatically in this case only has the one format tab. So we're in the right place, and we want to go to the size group. Notice that each group has a name, and size is down here at the very end. And we want to choose the advanced layout. So to get to the advanced layout, do you see the small box here? The advanced, click on that. The advanced layout is the original box for those of you who have used Word forever. This is the box that used to be the only choice before they started making ribbons for us to use. Now, they want us in the scale area to type 14 in the height box. So we want to go to the scale area, alright, in the height box we're going to type 14. Now, the cool thing about this is that since this lock aspect ratio is selected, it will keep our picture from skewing, making it too big, making it too skinny. making it lopsided looking, if that makes any sense. And when I click in the width, it automatically changes to the same size, and that is because of the log aspect ratio. Both of them changed the same amount, and since it was a square, they're both the same size. And notice that the percentage is in relative to the original picture size. And notice down here at the original size, it does show you the original size in inches. And now you can see how much it has changed up here. Pretty cool, huh? Click on OK. Notice that our picture is very small there, and that's what we want because we're going to slide it up here on our graphic that we just created. So with our picture graphic still selected, we want to go to the color button. So the color button, we are still in our picture tools, our format, and this time we are in our adjust panel. We are going to choose our color button, and notice that we have several different options. And each of these, and let me move my picture so you can see it, if I can. I don't think I can. This is what your books are going to look, and as you slide over them, then you can see what your change is going to do. In this case, they want us to choose green accent color 1. So as I slide over that, that is the second choice in the second row, green accent color 1 dark. And notice that now it is a similar color to our rectangle. And then turn the page. On page 152, they want us to change this little piece that you can barely see, the bookmark. They want to change the dark green to where it's transparent, that there's no color. So that is very hard to see. So you can come down here to your task pane, grab the zoom, and zoom in so that you can see it really well. And even if you don't have glasses and need them, it is easy to get to that. So now it's very easy for us to see that bookmark. The next thing we want to do is click on the color button. So we will once again click on the color button. Now we're going to use one of my favorite tools, Set Transparent Color. When you click on this, all you have to do is slide over whatever color you want to make transparent, and it will erase the pixels, that specific pixel color, for the entire object. In this case, it's going to be this dark green, so we will click one time and voila, and now that section is white. Go ahead and hit save since we've done a lot. And if you look on page 153, it says display the picture tools, format tab, and this time we're going to go to the corrections button. So we are still in the adjust panel. We will click on corrections, and this time this is great if a picture you've chosen is too dark or too light or not enough difference. And we are going to choose brightness plus 20%, contrast plus 20%, and that is the fourth image in the fourth row. And then we will click. And so now it should blend in really well with our name up here. On page 154, it says click on the picture border arrow. So the picture border is in the picture styles bank. We come up here to picture border. We will click on the down arrow. Notice these are all of our theme colors, and these are standard colors. You have more colors, the weight of the outline, and the style of the outline. In this case, they want us to choose green accent 1. So that's the fifth color, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it says green accent 1. So we will click on that. And notice that we now have a green accent border around our graphic. Then we're going to change the text wrapping on this picture so that we can move it on top of our rectangle here. Make sure that your picture is still selected. You know it's selected if you have your sizing handles and your turn button. It is selected. And this time we want to choose our layout options. So we're going to come here and we will choose in front of text because we're going to stick it in front of our text. There we go. And in front of text is probably the wrap that I use the most often. So now you want to close that view, and then we are going to move our graphic to the other end, and I'm going to zoom back out so we can see the whole thing. Nice. And we're going to move it over here. And why, you ask? Because they told us to. Notice how when we slide up here, see how you get that green arrow? I mean that green line? That tells you that you are in alignment with the top of the graphic. That really helps to keep things structured and looking neat. Okay? Now, the next thing it says on page 155 at the bottom, it says we want to copy the graphics. So first, let's actually move it on top and let's align it up. Okay? Now, it says to go home and click on the copy button. So that's what we will do. Then, on page 156, it says you're going to hit the paste, and we will use a specific, click on the down arrow, and it says to keep source formatting. And notice that over on the right side, I did not deselect the book, and you could have, and I usually do, but since the book didn't tell you, I just wanted y'all to see it does not erase the picture anymore. Back in the day, it used to erase the picture if you did this. So we are going to choose keep source formatting, so it has all of the stuff. It has the transparent colors, it has the borders, it has the be able to put on top of your graphic, so that way it looks just like the other one. Pretty cool, huh? Now, if you look on page 157, it says make sure still the picture tools format tab is open. Whatever I'm on, 99.9% of the time, the tab that whatever you're on, the tab that goes with it is there and select it. If it's not, all you have to do is click on it. Alright, so the next thing it says, click on rotate objects button. So we will come over. Oh, mine was not selected. See, you just got to click sometimes. And we'll come over to the arrange and click on rotate objects. And we'll click on this. And it says flip horizontal. So we'll come down here, and notice how the book changed as I slid. Pretty cool, huh? So we just want flip horizontal. We're going to flip it the other way, and we have flipped it out. Now we are going to hit our save button, and it is so cute. And I'm just going to say, from the graphic design point of view, the books should be swapped because they should be facing to the inside, not to the outside, according to graphic design rules. Just so you know. Now, on page 158, it tells us to save, and then it says format and enter text. Number 1 says to put the insertion point below the shape. So we have been here before, right? And we are going to go to the Home tab, and then we will center. And notice that the paragraph mark itself moves to the center. And then we want to hit increase until it gets to a size 12, and it does that very quickly. On number 4, it says to type 540 Cedar Road, Branch, Center, Washington, with a capital A, 98472. and then press the space bar. Then it says to insert a symbol. So we want to go to the insert symbol. So we are going to the insert tab. And then if you look clear over on the right, do you see the symbols bank? We can choose an equation, which it has all the stuff you would do to write a math equation. That looks a little scary to me. Or normal symbols that you're used to. Now notice that this set of symbols here are things that were used last. When we get done, the symbol that we use right now will show up right here. So right now, we are going to go to more symbols. Now, make sure that, number one, your font says normal text. Number two, that your subset is geometric. Make sure that your subset is general punctuation. So, like mine is wrong. So all we have to do is click on the down arrow and slide around. Of course, it's not in alphabetical order. Sweet. General punctuation. So we will slide down. There we go. Okay. Now, they want us to use this dot symbol right here. So we'll click on this one time. Notice that this is your recently used symbols. Just like that first part I showed you, those are the same ones. Now, the one that we have chosen, this is its character code. I have never had to use that, but you know, it's kind of cool if you know the character code. There you go. And if you wanted to do a shortcut key, that would be it. I've never used that either, but hit insert. And you don't see anything, but watch this. Alright, and there is my dot. So hit close. After the dot, just so you know, check this out. Go to symbol and see, there's our dot. So next time we don't have to go through the whole thing. Cool. Hit one space after the dot because you have one space before, you need to have one space after. And then if you'll look on page 159, it says type phone colon and then 873 555 3928. And then it says to click on insert symbol. We do need to hit a space bar since we have a space before and after the other one, and they need to be the same. So now click on your symbol, click on your dot, and hit the space bar again so that they are the same. Now on page 160 it says to type email colon then type Samara at earth.net. And now our letterhead is finished and it is centered. So we should have the same amount of text running to the left as we have running to the right. Then the next thing it says to do is and if it doesn't look just like the book, that's okay. When we're done, we can go back and easily double check everything. So the next thing we have to do, number one on page 160 at the bottom, says to go to the home tab with insertion point in the paragraph border. Okay, this is where we're going to put a border at the bottom of this. We want to choose the borders arrow. So if you look up here and see that looks like a window pane, that is the borders arrow. Click on the down arrow and choose bottom border. And notice that the bottom border immediately shows up. And voila, that's pretty nice. Now, if you look, it says on page 162, it says to hit enter. Now, that's pretty ugly, don't you think? So we want that border to stay up instead of following us down. to do that, you have to do a thing called remove or clear all formatting. And where it gets rid of the border on that paragraph return, it moves that border back up to the previous paragraph return, so everything is cool. So right now, click on clear all formatting. Pretty cool, isn't it? Alright. Now, I'm looking at the book, and to me, it looks like they put this out to the side. So I'm going to say right now, see, we're totally flexible here. We got this. And that looks a little better balanced, because that was not looking balanced. That kind of bugged me. So now on page 163, it says to convert a hyperlink to regular text. If this was going to be posted online, that would be awesome, because then people could just click on it and get straight to your email. But this is going to be printed, and this color does not look professional when it's just for the email. So you want to right click that, and we want to remove the hyperlink, which means that you'll be able to see the address, but clicking on it will do nothing. So click on that, and notice that it goes back to a black text, and I can no longer click on it and go to write her an email. Pretty easy, or him. So go ahead and save. And then you want to put your cursor on the paragraph mark below the border. So we're going to click there, and we're right below the border, and then we're going to hit save. And we're on page 164, and we have a nice yellow break point, so go ahead and take a break.